Hello everyone and welcome to this, another edition of a late night screen review. This time we're talking about tarot. I'm not very good at cards. I'm more of an Uno man.
12 cards in a circle. One more at the heart. With this final card, your reading will start.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, this old deck's kind of strange.
So, Tarot, directed by Spencer Cohen and Anna Hallberg, is in all UK cinemas out now from the 3rd of May, I think. So, what's the story about? So, Tarot tells the story of a bunch of young friends who are taking a break from their college education. They rent a giant mansion in the middle of nowhere. They drive their really expensive cars to this mansion and have a whale of a time getting drunk and telling ghost stories and all that great stuff. They then find a tarot deck in the basement of this old mansion and decide to play the game and tell everybody's fortunes instead of carrying on drinking and having fun. What? So what did I think of the movie? So yeah, I just came back from watching Tarot. For me, I've got to be honest. I looked at the trailer and I wasn't even going to see this film. I was not looking forward to it, and I went in thinking it wasn't going to be that good. And was it? No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it I really didn't enjoy this movie. What are my problems with this film? Well, here's the story. So essentially, it's 7 friends. They're all these kind of like young college students. They all look like models. You know, they're all gorgeous and beautiful and all this great stuff. Immaculately dressed. They're all driving these really expensive like Land Rover cars. They live in these massive like houses. These the kind of sorority houses, but they're really nice versions. And they go and rent a giant mansion for like a bit of a break. How is anybody supposed to kind of identify with these people? I have no idea. Now, the characters themselves, they're actually not that bad. They're not awful people, but they are so cardboard cut out, tropey to all hell. The film itself doesn't really make much sense. It really comes off as either first-time filmmakers or just a script that was incredibly lazily written. As I say, the idea, the premise is that they've had their tarot readings done. And one of the main girls in this group of in this group of like college students is a master at tarot reading. Just so happens they rent this mansion, and it just so happens that there's this ancient cursed tarot deck in the basement. Just so happens, and then the rest of the movie just so happens that every tarot reading that was given on that night, the deaths are going to happen in that order, and depending on what the kind of reading was about is how they're going to die. And it's not one of those things where it's done slyly, cleverly built up. Oh, that thing's just happened, and she did say that in the tarot reading, that little thing that happened. No, the characters actively point it out for you. In case you were missing what was happening, guys, in this very complicated horror story, the characters are going to say, hold on, that thing you just said was the thing that you said the other night when you did the tarot reading, and that thing that happened earlier, that was because you said that tarot reading, because we can't understand this stuff without being just absolutely force-fed it, having it completely rammed down our throats and insulting our intelligences as audience members. And that's the kind of worst thing about this movie. It's not that it's just lazily written and it doesn't do the horror trope thing with any kind of style or substance. It's that it insults the audience's intelligence. I actually came out of this film feeling quite insulted, but also kind of really frustrated by the whole film. Not only did the characters kind of constantly talk at the audience to tell us everything that's happening as and when it's happening and why and how come. Not only is it like that, but the characters are massively inconsistent. They just flip-flop all over the place. One minute they're all very empowered and we're going to do this, we're going to solve this, we're going to break the curse. The next minute they're all running around basically a haunted house screaming like mindless idiots. So which is it? And that goes for the monster or the creature or whatever you want to call it. It's 7 tarot cards, 7 different characters, death, there's the jester, there's other ones. They're all assigned to each character and they die in by that creature's hand, essentially, and the death sequences are exactly the same. It's all just people creeping around large areas or in spaces. They then, lights get shut off, or things get turned off, or they get locked in. It's dark, it's very, very, very quiet, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, jump scare as this thing comes running at you, and that's it. It's essentially the same thing. Now, yes, the creatures, they use different props to kill the characters, but past that, it's exactly the same setup over and over and over again. And again, not done in an interesting way. It's literally just ticking the characters off. We've killed that one, now we're going to kill this one, now we're going to kill this one. Some of the deaths happen really quick, one after the other. The police don't seem to have any jurisdiction. They don't seem to care about this. And there is a scene with the police, and even the characters in the scene are going, hold on guys, shouldn't this be more suspicious? Shouldn't we be questioning this a bit more? And it's like, the characters of the movie are just saying what the audiences should be saying, and the writers, it's like they just wanted to kind of give the audience their almost avatars and not characters. So instead of us watching characters do things where we kind of go, oh no, you shouldn't be doing this or saying that, the characters themselves are doing it, so we don't have to. And the whole film is like that. Everything is just fully spelled out. At one point I was thinking, hold on, is this a film like a comedy? Is it like a comedy parody of a horror movie? Because there are some really weird, out of left field comedy prank jokes at the beginning of the film, and then one really, really bad one right at the end of the movie, just to bookshelf the film. But other than that, in between the movie, it's just a straight up kind of like not very good horror film. So it's really confusing in terms of its kind of thematics and what it was trying to kind of go for. Like, I didn't know what I was watching. And then at other times it feels like a weird kind of like Goosebumpsian kind of film. To the point of, when I finished the movie, I thought, hold on, is this based on some sort of short kind of, I don't know, like kids book? And I go home and research it, and it comes to find out that yes, it is. It's based on some sort of teenage horror fiction book from like the late 90s or something, done by I think somebody called Nicholas Adams. So I was right. It's an absolute waste of time to watch this film and think you're going to get anything either scary, engaging, interesting, or just like kind of fun to watch. You know, like, I know Thanksgiving was kind of a mixed review, but Thanksgiving was at least to some extent fun, imaginary. It had an idea, it was trying to do something, and it was fun in sequences. This was just not fun at all. The characters were just completely cliched and basically avatars for the audience. The monster was massively inconsistent in itself and wasn't scary and didn't make much sense. The ending of the film is just so cliched and boring and really badly executed. And then the actual twist at the end, if you like, the kind of clincher of the movie is just a massive kick in the teeth for the audience. I left the film at the end of that feeling really insulted, and I was just like, what? Really film? I cannot recommend this film. Please don't waste your money and go see it at the cinema. If you are drunk and it's on a streaming service, maybe on Shudder in the future, maybe give it a watch for a laugh with friends and some beer. But past that, I cannot recommend Tarot. I really didn't enjoy this film, and I don't think anybody out there, any kind of horror fan, maybe if you're a really young teenager and don't really care that much about films and you want something to do, maybe go see this film. But past that, it's a massive no from me. So yeah, it's always a shame. I think it's always a shame when a film disappoints me this much. There's films where I can kind of go, you know what, these bits were okay, this was okay, but this wasn't that great. But for this one, it's just a straight up no. It's a no from me, folks. I'm sorry. Yeah, so anyway, until next time, guys, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll see you soon. Bye.